everybody, welcome back to Gemma and George. In today's video, we're talking you through house hunting in Singapore and sharing with you some tips and tricks to hopefully make the process stress-free. Hi everybody, welcome back to Gemma and George. If you're new here, my name's Gemma and we are a family of three who have recently moved to Singapore. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to click the subscribe button or click the bell so you can get notified every time we release a new video. So, I've been getting lots and lots of messages on Instagram and on YouTube from other families that, like us, are new to Singapore or are about to move to Singapore, and they're predominantly asking about house viewing. And obviously with the current restrictions here in Singapore, people just want to know, what was your experience? I'll put down in the comments below all the questions and the different sections, and just skip to the section that's relevant to you. George is in the background, and later on in the video it'll be his bedtime, so I might be somewhere else in the house filming this video. Let's talk about how we found our property. We primarily use two apps to search for our properties. The first one, 99.co, and the second one was Property Guru. We moved to Singapore in August and we came from the United Kingdom. We were waiting quite a while actually to be able to get here because of entry passes. So we started our search using Property Guru. So you can do that online or you can do that on an app. So on the app of Property Guru, you can look at the different areas and you can select all of the filters that are suitable for you. We were looking $500 more than our initial budget, and we were looking at what was available for 2 bedrooms and for 3 as well, or on the app, and just to have a look at what's the average price of the properties that you're looking for. Our initial budget was 3.5 and we were looking at 2-bedroom properties. We have ended up with 3.8 and 3 bedrooms. So it really depends what's available at the time. If you're interested in a property, you contact through that app and that will be delivered to an agent. Usually on WhatsApp is the most common platform here in Singapore for communication. And then you can go with that agent and you can start to talk with them and request pictures. A lot of them have got videos of the properties also, and you can communicate with them to then go and arrange a visit. I guess naturally the second thing to talk about is agents. In one of the earlier videos that we posted, we did have an agent to start with. But basically, if you're looking for a property here in Singapore, the property will be represented by an agent. And more times than not, that agent either represents the entire condominium or apartments, because there might be hundreds of them on one property, and that agent would then earn 100% commission. If your agent is there to show you another property that has another agent, they'll then split that commission 50-50. When you are going to view a property, when you are talking with your agent, it's best to kind of establish with them early on what's their expectation in terms of finances and things like that. Yes, we did start with an agent, and then after 1 week we decided to go at it alone. Our agent was really helpful and she had really good knowledge and we felt safe with her. She did, a good job in finding properties for us, but we missed out on a few properties that we at the time thought were right for us, and we were just getting a little bit frustrated, I think, at not finding properties quick enough. So that was the reason why we decided to go it alone. It's a really professional business. You can have more than one agent searching for you at the same time, and the more direct that you can be with them in terms of what it is that you're looking for, the more helpful they will be. Just had a quick dinner break. Let's talk now about viewing. So currently, under the Singapore restrictions, you are only allowed to do things in groups of 2. And that also means that when you're viewing properties, one property is only allowed 2 visitors per day. When we were looking, we were under restrictions of 5. So now things will be even more competitive in terms of finding a property. So my recommendation on that respect would be, 1, if you're really interested in a property, really encouraging your landlord to be as, politely forceful as they can to try to get you that viewing, or if somebody cancels, which they do quite often, that you can then take the slot that day. Try to book all of your viewings maybe in a day or in a close proximity of a few days, so that if you do find a property that you're interested in, you can react quickly. Next thing to talk about is negotiation. When you're looking on Property Guru and any other platforms, or you're talking to the agents, the price that's listed is usually up for negotiation. It's important to remember that because of the restrictions right now in terms of how many people are allowed into Singapore, that house market or renting is really, really competitive. So the landlords know that they don't have to negotiate with you in terms of price. One of the first questions that we would ask is, what's the lowest that they'll go? We also saw a property that was advertised as 4.8, but was available and they were willing to come down to 4. And that's because there was building work right next to it. The people had been out of the country for about a year and they just wanted to sell it and kind of be gone with it. So you really have to kind of play it by ear. But you can negotiate a little bit on price, but there's not as much room as there was perhaps pre-COVID. Singapore loves using acronyms. So partially furnished and fully furnished, you'll see PF or FF on quite a lot of the listings. And partially furnished means that you don't get much, but you definitely get your whiteware. So you'll get a microwave, a fridge, and a washing machine or a dryer. Again, these are things that you can negotiate into your contract and have this verbal conversation with the agent. Fully furnished, you will get all of their furniture. If, when you're having a look at the property, you don't really like some of the furniture, you can then request to remove it for you. Was ours fully furnished or partly furnished?
They said fully furnished, but...
Yeah, so ours said it was fully furnished, but we got one bed. And Jodie's bedroom didn't have a bed in it. So we essentially got our whiteware, a table and chairs and a settee, which is essentially the bigger items that you need. If you put an offer in, you are bound by that verbal contract. We need a good faith payment, they call it here, of 1 month's rent. As soon as you verbally say to the landlord or to the agent, we are interested and we want this property, they will stop all other visitors and guests coming. They will then contact the landlord and they will put forward your request. So if you're just willing to pay the price that is advertised, then again, they'll still go and seek out permission for that. So you put your offer in. If it gets accepted, they will come to you with a contract. You'll sign your contract and they'll just initially take a picture of your WhatsApp and then they'll request from you 1 month's rent. Once you've paid that rent, it's pretty much yours in principle. Then you have to go through more of the paperwork, probably meet up with them in person and go through an inspection of the property. If you verbally commit, you have to pay a good faith payment of 1 month up front. Whatever happens, and no matter how desperate you are, do not put an offer in on a property that you have not seen. We came really close to doing this because I feel like after 10 days of viewing properties, we were just over it and we were probably almost willing to accept anything that looked reasonable. Here in Singapore, there's such a diverse mix of people, and cooking is obviously really important here. You'll find that a lot of the kitchens have glass panels to kind of contain the smells within them. So it might look really great on the pictures and it might look really good on the videos, but it might also smell like a takeaway. If you go during the day when it's really quiet, it's great, but then you might not figure out that your next door neighbour has got a dog that barks all the time, or that there's 20 children that live right opposite your swimming pool. Nathan did merely our viewings during the day when I was at work, if we couldn't do them on a weekend. If the property was good, we would go again in the evening once I finished work, so that we got a really good vibe or experience of what the condo's really like when people are there. And you've deposited 1 month's rent. What happens next? In total, you'll pay upfront 3 months' rent. 1 month's rent is your deposit. 1 month's rent is your actual rent, and the other month is this good faith payment. If you're looking for a property that is 3.8 thousand or above, you need all of that money available before you even move in. Contracts then sent to us on an email, we printed them out, we then signed them and we scanned them back in. The main thing really is your bank details. Is there anything that you need to think about or be wary of in terms of your contract? I mean, read it through. There is a standard contract that the majority of tenants will use. First month of living here, anything that cropped up, they would mend or fix for free. We meticulously went around into each room and had a look for things. We tried all the taps, all the doors, all the cupboards. We took pictures and then we uploaded it all onto a spreadsheet, and then we sent that across to our agent. Might be worth asking your agent or the landlord whether you have that or whether that is within your contract, and if it's not, whether you can have that, or what do you do once you've just moved into a property. If something does come up, what happens and who's responsible for that financially. The main way to get things done is Lalamove, and you download the app and then you credit the account, and they will go to an address to collect items for you. You can pay additionally them for them to wrap things and get it all ready, and then they'll bring it and deliver it to your address. No matter how high you are in your condo or your apartment, they'll bring it right through to the door. Where we live, we're only 5 stories. Because it's quite a small condo, they didn't have any trolleys to put our stuff on. So if you've seen the video about when we moved in here, we were sweating horrendously and we were having to manually get our luggage from downstairs to the lift up, and then one of us stay with George. Yeah, it was intense. That's all of my tips and tricks. I'm sure there's plenty more. If you've got any more questions, please feel free to pop them in the comments below or message me on Instagram at the Gemma and George. I guess as a parent and as a new person to Singapore, coming in with a small child and starting a new job and with all the restrictions, I think finding a house was our biggest challenge. And we did find it quite stressful initially. A relief and the happiness that we've got now as we kind of sit here in an evening time, sit outside on the balcony. Feeling once you've got it is wonderful, but it's worth taking the time to make sure that you find the right place for you. I think we thought 2 or 3 other properties were the right ones, but no, this here is definitely home and we really like being here. Hope you've enjoyed the video. We'll see you next Monday.